because I know you said we lost and you know, we might not get saved. So, but let's do I know, and I can already tell a man like you don't even really like hypotheticals. Hypothetically speaking, though, what would have to happen for us to be saved? What would have to happen for us to turn it around?
We got to break away from the white boy.
Okay, that's step one.
Until we unite with some laws and some bylaws, we lost. We following his laws and his bylaws. They for him. He done lost. He done lost his country. Everybody over here. Everybody's over here now. Every tongue is his, just like Babylon.
Right.
Man kissing man, woman kissing woman, no respect. Nobody have respect for one another. You don't have all of this in Cuba. You don't have all of this in North Korea. You don't have every tongue over here. This is the only country where it's every tongue. And it's everybody hate one another.
Right.
And how did we get to where we hate one another? And we're the only country, the only ones that don't know how to protect ourselves, feed ourselves, and clothe ourselves, so we're in trouble. We always got to depend on him. What did that Chinese say? That Chinese to say, I almost own America now. I'm not going to hire you. I'm going to bring my own people with me. So we're in trouble. And I wish that it was some kind of way for my grandkids, my great-grandkids, and their kids. But we're a race of people that's lost.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay. So, man, I want to thank you again.
You're welcome.
For coming out and giving us some history. Hopefully, man, you know what? Hopefully, this is something that we can do even if it's off camera. You know what I'm saying? Often, like, this is me formally asking you to be a mentor of mine. It
would be wrong for me to turn you down. It would be wrong for me to turn you down. Because just like you said, the book of Job, they stop by and talk to Job every day. Mm-hmm. Wise men have to talk to, sometimes a wise man have to come talk to a fool.
Right.
I learned, I'm finna go. So your mentor gonna be dead in a minute. Your mentor gonna be crippled in a minute. So you got to learn to mentor to yourself.
Right. Okay. Okay.
But I'll try hard as long as I'm here.
I can tell you this just by seeing you in person and seeing you look like you're going strong. You look like you got another 20 to 30.
But the feeling that I have, I wouldn't want it.
Right.
Because my daughter said, Daddy, I got what you call prostrate cancer now.
Oh,
the things that I got in Vietnam, the things that I breathed in Vietnam, the things that I did in Vietnam, the disease that I got in Vietnam, now it's coming out of me at an old age because I abused the temple. Putting everything good in the temple. Now the temple is damaged. Mm-hmm. So I just do the best I can until I leave and just be happy and pay everything on mine. Yes. And today, I swear, I started to say, Ferron, tell him no. Because this just ain't me. Meek Mill could, 4 years ago or 5 years ago, he was saying, man, I'll send you some money. You come up here. Charleston White should pop. You can go anywhere. They'll give you whatever you want. I don't want that. That ain't what I want. So me, I'm the type that I'm all right.
You do you.
I'm all right.
I can respect that.
Yeah,
I can respect that. I can respect that 100%.
Yeah.
So this the last point. Because you reminded me about it, and I almost didn't get a chance to talk about it. But we talked about religion, right? We talked about religion, and you pretty much have said on record here that you don't believe in God, and I told you while I did grow up on the Bible, I can remember reading the book of Job. And to summarize it for the on-camera version of this conversation, the book of Job is about one of God's most loyal servants. And one day the devil pulls up on God and says, hey, I bet you I can make him turn against you. And God's pretty much like, have at him. I bet he won't. And so while the moral of that story is supposed to be to praise God through thick and thin, one question I had from it, and it's only because God was also described to me as somebody who's above human emotion and thoughts. One question I had was like, so dang, God would ruin my life or ruin someone's life in what seems like a crazy bet with the devil, which I thought we didn't even mess with the devil. You know what I'm saying? I thought we didn't even really rock with him like that. So I just kind of thought it was wild, or that's something that stuck with me, is that dang, like this man Job had his whole life ruined just because the devil said, man, I bet you I can get him to turn against you. You know what I mean? And he didn't. And just for the on camera moral of the story, he didn't turn against God, and he got everything back and plus more. But still, like, that's something I drew from it. So I grew up being kind of confused and not really, I'm not going to say not believing the Bible, but just being a literal thinker. Some of that stuff just didn't make sense to me. So when you were did you grow up like in Christianity or in baptism like most of us did?
I've been baptized.
Right, me too.
I was supposed to be a minister.
Right.
I went to school to be a theologian. My major is theology. My minor is PE. When I read the Bible, I read what they say God said to Israel. God talking to Israel. He's not talking to the Palestinians. He's sending a prophet. God says, say, I want you to go tell my people, this is my message, and I want you to tell my people to do this. And if my people don't do this, then I'm going to do this to them. He's not talking to the Palestinians. He's not talking to the Romans. God is talking to the Jews. Those are God's chosen people, the Jews. So when I listen to what the words are saying about God and his prophet and what he's telling the Jews, then when I come over here on American side and I see how America treat the blacks and they believe in God and we supposed to be their neighbors, I just learned that God wasn't talking to them Palestinians. God didn't tell the Palestinians nothing. Allah told the Palestinians things. God told the Jews things, and the Jews and the Palestinians fought every day, still fighting right today. Paul, the Roman, went over there killing Jews and killing Palestinians, fell off our heart, and was supposed to got blind. Jesus' disciples got Paul and taught Paul what Jesus said. So Paul said he's an apostle. How is he an apostle? He didn't see Jesus. He didn't talk to Jesus. Then he come back and told Rome about the God that the Jews got. So then the Romans took the God that the Jews got and honored whatever the God told the Jews to do, then the Romans do it. And the Romans have always been with the Jews fighting the Palestinians. But Allah is over here, and his peoples is just as strong as God's people. So me being born in America, I don't believe the book that the white boy believed, because my grandmother had a blonde hair, blue-eyed person up there. And when I went to reading, I read about the fellow with the wool hair like lamb and dark skin. So quite naturally, the white boy got a lie. So I'm not going to believe that white boy's lie. I'm not going to believe that white boy nothing. I'd rather be ignorant and illiterate like I am and to follow the white boy and believe the white boy's philosophy. Jesus, I read Jesus. I don't have anything against Jesus, but Jesus is a Jew. Martin Luther King and my mama is my God. They the ones saved me. My mama and my grandma and Martin Luther King died for me. Jesus didn't die for me. I was born in sin. That white boy hate me when I come out of my mama's womb. That white boy trying to figure out a way to kill me. Been trying to figure out a way to kill me. Why do he hate me? What did I do to him? Nothing. He have been over me from the time that we've been over here. I can't say nothing. I can't do nothing without him. I got his name. Your last name was a slave master's name that's been passed down. And y'all steady celebrated. So me being ignorant like I am, I don't believe none of that white boy said. And I ain't seen God. And I ain't seen the devil. And I ain't seen nobody come back and tell me about heaven and hell. My mama would come and tell me something. I live according to my mama and my mama's law. Do not be sometiming and do not talk about nobody. Who is you? You can't speak on nobody. If this man is a man and want to be a woman, that's his business. I can't speak on it. If this man want to steal and rob, that's his business. I can't speak on it because I'm dirty too. Like Jesus said, let the first one speak that ain't sin. Every man done sin.
Right.
So I don't want to hear nothing that the white boy got to say.